Okay, so hello everyone. I think we're ready to get started. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us today in this EU-Brazil matchmaking event, in this opening session. These events are made within the frame of the Low Carbon Business Action Program as a means to foster the commercial liaisons between European and Brazilian companies, and also to contribute to the decarbonization and circularization of consumption and production models in Brazil, in this case. Today we have frontline speakers from different backgrounds, from the European Union, also from private companies, from institutions, academic institutions, different associations. So I believe it will be a very enriching experience for all of us. And without much ado, I will pass the floor to our program officer in the European Union delegation to Brazil, Mrs. Stephanie Orell. So please, Stephanie, whenever you're ready, we are eager to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will be very short. First of all, I would like to thank you for organizing this very timely webinar. So my name is Stephanie Orell. I'm working in Brasilia at the European Union delegation to Brazil. But the team I'm working with here in the delegation is a regional team for the Americas. And as such, I'm in charge of this low carbon and business action program, which covers 4 countries. So it's of course Brazil, it's Argentina, Colombia, and Chile. In the fourth country, what we are trying to do is to close the ties between the EU SMEs and mid-caps that have developed low carbon technologies in different sectors, and try to reach out to companies in these 4 countries that would have an interest to use these technologies. So the project has started already about more than a year now, and the team has been very busy in all the countries in identifying the needs and the gaps, and as well reaching out to EU stakeholders that had developed technology that could be of interest of these 4 countries. So today I'm very excited about this matchmaking targeting companies in Brazil and of course in the EU, working together towards a carbon-free farm. So this is one big part of what we call in Europe the EU Green Deal, which is our strategy, our growth strategy to make our economy more sustainable in the EU, to be in line with the Paris Agreement, and to, of course, reduce our emissions, our greenhouse gases emissions, as I said, in line with the Paris Agreement. Obviously, for the EU and for Brazil, agriculture is a sector that needs to be modernized in this sense, and a lot of initiatives are being taken in both countries, in both, let's say, territories, country and the EU, Brazil and the EU for another part. So I hope that this matchmaking, and I'm quite confident that this matchmaking will really result in business cooperation between EU companies and Brazilian ones. And I'm really looking forward to hear more about the experiences that the next panelists are going to explain to us. So again, as a message I wanted to send is that the EU stands ready for those partners that are ready to transform, transition to and modernize their agricultural practice in order to be aligned with the Paris Agreement. So thank you very much, and I wish you a very good event.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Stephanie, for your enriching words. Now we pass the floor to Sevicas Kotica, Mauricio Kotica, who will be presenting the topic on going to zero emissions from intensive livestock farming as part of the carbon-free farm project, which plays a vital role and a very central role in this matchmaking event. So whenever you're ready, Mauricio, please, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And first of all, thank you to the LCBA team in Brazil specifically, and most especially Mr. Pedro Ubeda, who invited us and has given us all the support up to this stage. The project that we'll be presenting is our carbon-free farm concept, which is a food system in which we try to modernize the production system in Brazil, making use of the capabilities and the conditions of the farms in Brazil, in which we have some, let's say, differences from other countries because we have a very varied sizes of farms. We have many farms with medium to large sizes, and in those conditions we can integrate through circularity within the farming itself different technologies and a more industrial approach to producing agricultural and, of course, livestock, which is key to Brazilian economy. In that sense, just pinpointing a few of the numbers that we have, of course, methane is a very important target for us in terms of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And I'm sharing with you some numbers here, in specifically pointing out that in Brazil, the vast majority of methane emissions comes from enteric fermentation, which means our livestock. We have over 13.4 million tons per year in terms of methane coming out of enteric fermentation and manure. Also, in terms of figures, Brazil has the largest cattle herd in the world. We are over 200 million animals.
Quantidade
at the same time,
de cabeças de gado, 212 milhões ao todo de animais.
At the same time, our productivity can go much higher.
Sem
If we compare our numbers with the United States,
pode aumentar se
which
compararmos com
has
os
less
Estados
than
Unidos,
half
que tem
of our
menos
cattle herd
da
in total,
metade do
the
total
amount
do
of meat
Brasil,
that
a
is produced in the
quantidade
United
de
States
carne
is
produzida
larger
nos
than in
Estados
Brazil.
Unidos é maior
We
do que
have
no
11
Brasil.
million tons
Temos 11
in the
milhões
United
de
States and 10 million
toneladas
in
nos
Brazil,
Estados Unidos,
with over
10
twice
no
the cattle herd.
Brasil.
And
E
another
temos o
information
dobro
that I think it's important for
gado.
us
Também
to
outra
share is
informação
that in
importante
Brazil,
para
the
aqui
intensive production
compartilhar.
of livestock coming from feedlots, it's an industry that's still growing. It's very limited given the sheer size of the cattle herd, which we can see on the left here. From over 200 million animals, we have only 6 million being produced annually through feedlots. And we believe that the intensification of this production system can reduce our greenhouse emissions through increased productivity. So what we have put together is an integrated and circular food system in which we can, from producing corn and sorghum within the farm, and we are talking about farms that are over 2,000 hectares, which in many regions, in many cases in Brazil, that's very frequent, and even much more than that. So starting from corn and sorghum production, we go to a distillery that is placed within the farm in order to produce bioethanol coming out of this corn or the sorghum. And as a result of the ethanol production, we have byproducts in the shape of distiller grains, which then go into animal nutrition with a higher conversion, higher efficiency. And so as we have higher efficiency on the feedlot, which is the next stage of the process, we reduce the life cycle of these animals, and then we reduce the emissions. As we design a feedlot for specific conditions in which we can treat the majority of the manure through biodigestion, we can then produce the biogas on one side, and this biogas will either go to electric generation or biomethane, for which we are already working towards tractors and other equipment on farm, replacing diesel with the biomethane produced out of the manure coming out of the feedlot. And on the other side, also coming out of our biodigestion systems, we have the digestate as a material that we use to produce biofertilizer. In enriching this biofertilizer, we can reduce chemical and synthetic fertilizers, and then its emissions on the overall food system are also reduced. Through this biofertilizer applying directly to the field, we again have the circular economy integration, in which our corn and sorghum and also other seeds that we can develop on the same farm will be produced on a much more sustainable way. So the whole concept is to integrate different technologies, different industrial solutions to the farms, which in Brazil we have medium to large farms, and considering that large farms in Brazil are really large in terms of 20, 30, 50,000 hectares. We have quite some market for these conditions. And throughout the entire process, by monitoring and measuring the greenhouse emissions and what we are saving from the traditional ways of production, we can achieve a much lower greenhouse emissions from the cattle. So this is the entire concept. To integrate different solutions in order to produce beef from feedlots with high quality, with high predictability, but much less emissions. So again, I thank you for the opportunity to LCBA team. And the idea here is to present this concept for which we are already developing. We have some pictures here of some installations that are already taking place. But the idea is to reach out for European companies that can implement and advance some technologies that we can add up to the results we already have on the carbon-free farm concept. I thank you again, and I'll be available throughout the next days for any comments or questions.
Thank you very much, Mauricio. Muito obrigado. Now we pass the floor to Mr. Rodrigo Pastel, head of Fraunhofer and at liaison office in Brazil, Fraunhofer, who will be presenting Agriculture 4.0, agriculture innovations. So we are very, very pleased to have you today, Rodrigo. Thank you very much. You can go ahead whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Hello, guys. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope I can show you some of the projects that we have been developing around the world, and also try here to bring to Brazil with a partnership with companies and institutions, research institutions. So first of all, I hope you will see my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So First of all, I'd like to show you a little bit what is Fraunhofer, the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft. We are the biggest applied research organization of the world, and we perform applied research with direct utility for the society. We mean public and private companies with high benefits for the society. Today, it's the numbers of 2020, we have more than 29,000 employees only in Germany, with a revenue value from 2.8 billion euro, which from this 2.4 billion come from research contracts, and from these research contracts 70% is comes from the industry. Okay, so our focus is the society, is the industry, and we have 75 research institutes where we work in the whole area of the human being, the living, the energy sector, the construction, and so on. Some highlights that we have developed that you may not know, but MP3, MP4, MPEG-H is a development from us. White light LED is also from us, and several other things that's in the society. But I would like to show you something that we are developing in Germany that's called cognitive agriculture. Cognitive agriculture is a huge project that we have with 8 Fraunhofer institutes, where we focus on the technology to help to support the agriculture, and also to support to achieve the ODS development goals from UN by 2030, right? And the biggest challenge that we have, as I said, is to achieve more sustainable and efficient agriculture through the digital transformation. That's why it's agriculture 4.0. We have a total of 9 million euro that for this project, and where it started in 2018, it goes through next year. Okay, and the goals are to provide solutions for a digital cognitive ecosystem, where we have different levels from for this. Yeah, we're looking for the political and societal constraint and everything related to it, business processes, work process, agriculture, production systems, and biosphere. And we are trying to automate everything through software by having cognitive services, a data space, agriculture data space, and data and sensor systems, right? And the idea is to support the humans that are on the ground, I would say, on the landscape, but not to replace them, is to be complementary to the human being. And by this, I mean having all this ecosystem intelligently and all this data space regarding to the agricultural data. Also to monitor the biosphere and having new technology for the sensors and new concepts for innovative concepts for automation. So the idea is to mainly to monitor everything that we have, to share the data, and by sharing the data on the field, we can have different digital platforms. We can have the data from the producers, so we can have a better decision regarding the activity that we have. One example that we have here from this, from one of our projects, the soft sensor, and we just a minute. Just want to to have all the analysis of the field, where we can see where it's planted, everything virtualized, and we have sort of digital twin in real time, so we can understand better where we could have the crop, where we could take the plants, where we could treat them to have a better quality of our crop. So we use, for example, a lot of AI methods for this. Another is a technical solution for using all these assets as a digital twin. So the idea, the challenge is to uniforming easier the access to this data on the ground, on the field. And the idea is to have these representations where we can see in real time like simulated real-time conditions, so we can do it better for our crop as well. Here we have an example of an automated vehicle, a cognitive electrical robot environment, a vehicle that is being built, is already built, and we can let them into the landscape, into the field, and we have it taken and planted automatically. Yeah? And that's why we developed this. We have a fully electrified refill robot. We can reload this this robot on the trailer that's going to stay there on the field. We have also sort of characteristics from this robot, so we can have a more productive field. Another way, another project is regarding to sensor, and we have a lot of recognitions through hyperspectral image to detect the parameters of the soil and the plants. Something that really advanced that we are embedding on tractors and also in the equipment. And I'll bring something regarding another concept that we have, the digital farming, from our colleagues from Fraunhofer, Portugal, an institute for them from there. And regarding composting, we have a project that we connect everything that we can have from the waste composting. So the idea is to know when composting is really good, and so we can spare some time and have the best quality of this composure. So we have here a final solution. The idea is to monitor it via IoT systems. We have here developed a proper trash can, I would say. So we have all the IoT and sensor equipment there, and we can monitor it through via app. Another is there in Africa, where we can have on-site air mini plants, and having this data directed to the smartphones of the producers in Africa, so they can know better when they should harvest, when they should plant again, how to identify the best parameters of the soil as well, improving this in this way the knowledge and awareness of the agriculture producers, the people that are there, and make them really more independent from big companies, I would say. Here it's one of the prototypes that we have. That's we have here the IoT, the embedded system, so it connects through an antenna, and then it sends data to the cloud, and they can retrieve from the directly through the smartphone. Another one is it's really interesting, is regarding the grapes in the region of Portugal. It says eyes on traps. So the idea is to learn better and smartly the health of the grapes, the vineyard, through the monitoring. And this is concept that they have developed. They have the data, the monitoring data. They send the data, and they can see through artificial intelligence algorithms how to is it good, is not good, is there any plague there, so they can understand better what's going on. Here's an example of the proof of concept from this project, where they identify also some bugs into the that are found in on the grapes. Okay, so these were lots of examples that I had to show you, but to have a lot more, please feel free to contact me anytime if you are interested on this technology transfer, or also to know more about these systems. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you very much. Very interesting technologies and innovative and disruptive opportunities to increase the efficiency and the yields of agricultural crops. So very interesting. So now we pass the floor to our team leader, Alfredo Caprile, the team leader of the Low Carbon Business Action Program, who will be presenting the program as a whole, and also will explain you more in a more deep way all the benefits that this program brings to companies and potential beneficiaries. And in general, companies that want to increase their sustainability and their competitiveness, and also European companies that want to build commercial liaisons with Latin American companies. So please, Alfredo, thank you very much for being with us today. And whenever you're ready, we are eager to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juan. Welcome, everybody. As Juan said, my name is Alfredo Caprile. I'm the team leader of this low carbon and the circular economy program. This program is being financed by the European Union and basically consists of doing business platform specifically developed to facilitate exchanges between companies in these 4 countries of Latin America, seeking to find ways to enhance their carbon footprint with European technology solution providers. This program began in September of 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, and is set to end by September of 2023. The program is active in 4 countries, in Argentina, in Brazil, in Chile, and Colombia. And in each of the countries, we have a team of professionals responsible for finding business opportunities that meet the program criteria. We start on circular economy market analysis. We've been analyzing the regulatory frameworks, looking into technological trends, gaps, and identifying key barriers in each of the 4 countries, and getting in touch with key stakeholders. Also, in each of the 4 countries, we have been working in identifying specific technology demands by contacting companies with mature projects that meet program criteria or being part of the circular economy. In parallel, we have a team in Europe, specifically in Spain, that has different demands that we have found in the 4 countries in order to define what we call joint business projects, and move on to the stage of providing technical assistance to help overcome whichever type of barriers are encountered in the process of closing the deal. So far, we have over 250 European companies registered, and we're hoping to get more companies registered as we move on. The main goals of the program are to basically promote the principles of the European Green Deal and the Paris Agreement, and to improve the sustainability transition of companies via the internalization of European SMEs, and also to increase the competitiveness of the Latin American companies. In terms of the eligibility criteria, the European companies that wish to participate in this program need to meet the following criteria. First of all, obviously, they have to be in the sector of low carbon or circular economy related equipment or technologies. They need to have less than 499 employees, and their ownership has to be more than 51% in the hands Obviously, they have to be based in and they have to register in our website. We have there are a number of sectors in which we are working. Obviously, this is a very wide range program, and basically we're working with energy efficiency, with energy storage, smart agriculture, as we can see today, biogas from agriculture and animal waste, waste treatment, solar and wind power generation, circular economy and recycling, forestry management, blue hydrogen technologies, ecological building materials, sustainable paints. So the list goes on and on and on. We encourage you all to get in touch with us to discuss your interests in the different markets and the type of technology solutions that you require or you provide in the case of being European companies. Basically, we start by identifying the companies in Latin America that they have a demand for equipment or technology. And with that, what we do, we put together what we call a business opportunity. That business opportunity is being sent to the European team, and then the European team tries to put them in touch with different European SMEs. And once the Latin American company finds the right SME provider from Europe, then we get into a second stage in which we put together a second document, which we call joint business concept. And in that document, we basically outline what the need for the Latin American company is and what the European provider is going to provide. And we send that to the European Union. And once the European Union approves that concept, then we can basically give the green light to give some technical assistance. The technical assistance that the project offers can be very, very, very wide, in the sense that we can help them with technical and market studies, with financial coaching, or trying to work on legal issues or importing regulations or whatever is needed to get to close the deal. In the process, we do a number of technical webinars and matchmaking events like we're doing today. So you are all encouraged to get in touch with us, and we can give you more details as to how the program operates, and hopefully we'll get to see you. So thank you very much, and I give the word back to you, Juan, so you can proceed with the other speakers. Thank you. You are muted, Juan.
Thank you, Alfredo. Thank you very much. Also, just a quick mention that the program is also being implemented in Canada and Mexico. So also, if you are interested in these markets, we have like some differences in the way that in some little details on the functioning, but the objectives and the activities are mostly the same. So thank you very much. Now we pass the floor to Mr. Guillermo Coelho from Abafrutas, the Association of Producers and Exporters of Fruits and Derivatives of Brazil. And he will be talking about fruit culture, fruits production in Brazil, the strides and challenges. So thank you very much, Guillermo, for honoring us with your presence today. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will try my best in my English, okay? I'll talk slowly, and I think everyone can hear me and understand, okay? I would like to say it's fantastic, okay? And I would like to give a congratulation for Mr. Caprilli and all this team, the Low Carbon Building Action, for this meeting, okay? I would like say thank you, Mr. Pedro Weber, for invite me to stay here in this moment. Abafrutas is an association of a lot of companies that we export fruits. We have about 9 years old. We are very young, but we are doing a very good job to promote the exportation of fruit. Okay, we think in the end of this year we will make about $1 billion in fruit to export. Okay, we have about 8. Please, you can pass the slide, please. The next. I don't know if I can do it here. Okay, thank you very much. And then we have about 83 companies that we are together, and we have about 85% all the fruits that we produce, we export to Brazil, come from this association. We have a lot of partnership, like a CNA, like the Confederation of Agriculture and of all Brazil, okay, and after the Institute and the Minister of Agriculture of Brazil, and then Embrapa. Embrapa is a research company of Brazil. This is very important for us. And now we are talking to Embrapa, the president, to do a partnership, because we need in this moment know about the carbon, between the carbon and the fruits, each fruit, okay? And we are I think the beginning of the next year to do this research, so we know about this. This is very important for us. Please, the next one, please. Okay. Brazil is the third biggest producer of fruits in the world. Okay, in the first country is China. The second one is India. We have about 2.5 million of hectares, and we produce about 40 million tons of fruits. Okay, and it's very important to say to you that our agribusiness is very strong. Soybean, corn, cotton. But this plantation doesn't give a lot of employees, okay? All mechanics, and we don't use the people to work. The sector in the agribusiness of Brazil, we use a lot of people given a job, is the fruit, okay? Because it's artisanal things. Then we think we have more than 5 million employees in the fruits, okay? And it's very important to say to you that the fruits include the women, okay? The women, because the women, they knows a lot with love, with dedicate to put the fruits in the boxes, and everything. In the packing house, 90% the people that work in the packing house, they are women, okay? This is very important, because a lot of, in the most of houses, you have a man, he still work in any place, and you put another people in the same house. Then we have two salaries. Then it's good for the family, for the children, and for the region, okay? Please, like the next one. And this is the numbers, okay? I would like to say very fast that if you compare the 9 first months of this year compared with the last year, okay, we increase in dollar like a 27% in exportation, and we increase in tons like a 20%, okay, in exportation. The mangoes is the fruit that we must more export, and the second one come the melons, okay. You have a lot of increase. You can see, for example, the grapes, we increase 70%. And then we have a lot of fruits in the increase. I think that the world is eating more fruits, okay? Please, the next one. Okay, we have not good numbers to say to you. Only 2.5% that what the fruits that you produce, we export, okay? This is a very few percentual, okay? We do a lot of new technologies like biofertilizantes, biodefensivo, the bioinsumos we call, okay, that we are use very much and increase a lot. And this we don't have a lot of good numbers, because the people of Brazil eat like 55 kilos fruit per year, one people. And the OMS, the Organization of Health, say that we're supposed to eat about 1.6 kilos a year. Then Brazil, the people of Brazil needs to eat more fruits, okay? Then last week, I would like to say to you that I was in Glasgow, okay, in a COP26. Then we did a panel, okay, for the world, to say, I think very important that we do the fruits, the plantation of Brazil. We don't burn in Amazonia. We don't cut trees in Amazonia. Okay, the fruit that we have in Amazonia called açaí. Açaí is the fruit from a native. Okay, the florist in açaí. And açaí give a lot of employees of the small people, small village, and small association. Then I went to Glasgow. I went to COP26 to say to the world that we don't do illegal nothing in Amazon. Okay, and it's very important to say to you that we export fruit, we need a lot of certificated, okay, internal certificated, and like I can say to you, like a Global Gap, like a SMETA, like a HACCP, like a Rainforest, like a Natural Choice. Then the world needs to know that we do whatever they want, okay? The correctly things to export the fruits. We have a lot of fruits in different regions of Brazil, and we are very enthusiastic that the fruit we can open more countries to export. We did last year the melon from China. I think next year we will have grapes for China, and now we can increase more and more and more. The thing that I would like to finish my presentation say that I think is fantastic, okay, this webinar, and you know that Abrafruta is with you to do agro low carbon, okay, and we are doing this combination with Embrapa to study each fruit about the carbon, okay. We have to do what the world is asking we to do. Is a very good preoccupation. We have to work very hard. We have to take all the work to have a low carbon to protect the new generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Guillermo, for your presentation. Now, I would like to remind that also if you have questions, I see that some people are already sending and typing them on the chat, but also I would like to remind you that don't be shy, and we will be delighted to attend these questions. Now we pass the floor to Guilherme Crispin, President of the Council of the Brazilian Association of Distributed Energy Generation. And he will be presenting the distributed generation focused on the agricultural sector, the market prospects and the benefits of this distributed generation energy. So Guilherme, thank you very much for being with us today. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Obrigado. Buenos dias, good morning. Bom dia a todos. Eu não vou me atrever a fazer essa apresentação em inglês. Certamente ela não ficaria boa. Eu poderia me atrever a fazê-la em espanhol. Eu acho que ficaria razoável. Então, eu vou ficar na minha zona de conforto e irei fazê-la em português. Gostaria de agradecer em nome da ABGD a Low Carbon Business Action pelo convite, em nome do Pedro, o Beda, que a gente já vem conversando já há algum tempo, né, de alguns projetos aqui no Brasil. E a ideia nesta apresentação é mostrar um pouco da ABGD, da Associação Brasileira de Geração Distribuída, e também dos números do agronegócio no Brasil. Ok? Vamos lá? Bom, eu pediria, por gentileza, eu estou com um problema de internet no escritório, então eu gostaria, se for possível, que colocasse a apresentação, já não sei se ela já está em tela, se tiver, por favor, para que eu possa, eu tenho ela no computador, mas eu estou offline. Não sei se vocês conseguem colocar a apresentação aí.
Yes, just a second, Guilherme. We're arranging this.
Ok. Bom, eu posso ir me adiantando e falando um pouco da associação enquanto a gente coloca a apresentação. A BGD é uma associação do setor elétrico, né? Ela foi fundada em 2015, ela está no seu 6º ano de vida, né? Mais um pouco a gente completa aí o 7º ano. Ela é formada por stakeholders interessados no desenvolvimento da geração distribuída no Brasil. A geração distribuída é um conceito, né, da geração de energia junto à carga. Então, nós temos algumas fontes de geração que são consideradas geração distribuída na nossa matriz. Bom, aí está a apresentação. Como eu disse, a BGD, a gente pode ir para a próxima tela, next, please. Aí nós temos aí um pouco da BGD. A BGD hoje ela já está com mais de 1.000 empresas associadas à associação, onde nós temos aí provedores de soluções, EPCistas. O EPCista é a empresa que entrega o projeto turnkey, né? Faz desde a engenharia, ao procurement, a compra de materiais, né, e o comissionamento de um projeto. Temos empresas instaladoras, né, que fazem o processo de instalação de usinas, distribuidores de equipamentos, fabricantes, empresas de consultoria para o setor, empresas comercializadoras de energia, investidores, empreendedores, escritórios jurídicos, de contabilidade, enfim. Nós temos um pool diverso de empresas que hoje compõem a BGD. A BGD provavelmente é a maior empresa brasileira, a maior associação brasileira de geração distribuída. Então, conforme eu disse, a gente oferece ao nosso associado assessoria jurídica e tributária, a possibilidade de networking com outras empresas do segmento. Nós temos aí 5, 6 eventos anuais, são 5 eventos regionais, onde a gente vai a cada região do Brasil. O Brasil é um país muito extenso. Nós temos também um evento nacional, onde, na oportunidade, nós temos uma feira, onde os expositores podem apresentar suas soluções, e também, junto com esta feira, um congresso técnico, onde a gente apresenta também o que tem de novo no setor de geração distribuída. Nós fazemos a interface também com as agências regulatórias do Brasil, os órgãos de governo. Recentemente, nós passamos por uma discussão bem ampla e intensa, ainda estamos passando, que é o projeto de lei 5829, que cria o marco legal da GD. Então, assim, a associação é muito ativa em vários pontos do trabalho que ela vem desenvolvendo no Brasil. Cursos técnicos, certificado de responsabilidade técnica, a gente vem desenvolvendo já há algum tempo. A título de informação, para quem quiser entender um pouco mais da geração distribuída no Brasil, Na nossa página web é possível encontrar e-books, né, que vão falar do conceito da geração distribuída, que vão falar também a respeito dos aspectos jurídicos, estruturais de investimento em projetos na geração distribuída no Brasil. É um e-book que fala especificamente das políticas públicas e também um e-book que trata o tema energias renováveis. Os e-books podem ser baixados, é possível fazer o download de forma gratuita deste material. Material muito rico em informação. Este ano de 2021, a associação colocou em prática um projeto muito interessante, que eu acho que cabe o destaque aqui, que é o Roadshow Solar, né? Onde o patrocínio diamante foi de uma empresa do setor de inversores global, que é a Huawei, conhecida. É um evento onde nós rodamos mais de 80 cidades em praticamente todas as regiões do Brasil, capacitando pessoas, principalmente aquelas que têm interesse em conhecer mais sobre energia renovável, e passando por cidades, desde cidades com 30 mil habitantes a capitais de estados, né? Cidades com milhões de habitantes. Foi um evento feito em parceria com outras empresas do setor, né? Empresas privadas que apoiaram o evento. E nós capacitamos nesse momento já capacitamos mais de 1.200 pessoas, né? Não tem custo, a inscrição ao evento para poder participar é feita previamente na página do Roadshow e basta doar 1 quilo de alimento para poder acessar as aulas. O material é muito rico também em informação. Então, a ideia nossa também de capacitar e dar a conhecer o mercado sobre energia renovável, principalmente energia solar fotovoltaica. Tem sido um êxito esse evento. Entrando um pouquinho no tema da GD, na perspectiva do agronegócio do Brasil, nós temos algumas linhas de financiamento muito interessantes. Muito obrigado pela mudança de tela, desculpe-me. Que é o PRONAF, né, que é o Programa Nacional de Fortalecimento da Agricultura Familiar, é um programa do BNDES, que oferece linhas de financiamento muito competitivas para a compra de equipamentos para a GD. Né? Então, assim, a gente tem percebido também dos bancos privados, né, linhas específicas de financiamento, também bancos públicos como o Banco do Brasil, a Caixa Econômica Federal, o Banco do Nordeste, né, o BNB, também ofertando linhas muitas vezes específicas para o agronegócio poder desenvolver as suas usinas solares ou usinas também de biogás e biomassa, que são fontes também que a gente tem na geração distribuída. Então, tem mais informações, né, específicas na nossa página a respeito desses fundos possíveis de serem alcançados, mas são uma fonte de financiamento muito interessante para que o setor do agronegócio possa desenvolver as suas usinas. A próxima página, por favor. Next. Tendo alguns números macro, falando da geração distribuída no setor rural, no agro, no Brasil, nós temos hoje, dos 5.500 municípios aproximadamente que a gente tem, 4.283 municípios com GD, olhando especificamente para a GD no agronegócio. Nós temos aí quase 50 mil unidades consumidoras, ou seja, praticamente 50 mil plantas de geração de energia já instaladas no Brasil. Essas 50 mil plantas estão compensando aproximadamente em 72 mil, ou seja, eu tenho, pela característica da possibilidade de geração no Brasil, você pode gerar num ponto, né, num determinado espaço e compensar em mais de um espaço, ou seja, pode ser compensada a energia naquela unidade de geração, mas também o excedente em outra unidade, né, desde que pertença ao mesmo registro, ao mesmo CNPJ ou CPF de titularidade, mas é possível se fazer isso. E para que a gente tenha uma grandeza de potência instalada, nós já passamos do 1 giga no agronegócio de potência instalada no Brasil. Provavelmente a gente está atingindo 1,1 giga, ou seja, 1 giga mais 100 megas aí, 1,1 de energia colocada no agronegócio de forma de alto consumo, né? A própria usina ali gerando energia. Próxima, next, por favor. Aqui a gente consegue ver os 10 principais estados, né, com maior potência instalada. Eu vou me ater aos 3 primeiros, que é Minas Gerais, com 327 megas, o Rio Grande do Sul, com 152, o Mato Grosso, com 132 megas. O estado de São Paulo também é representativo, tem quase 90 megas de potência instalada. E é interessante a gente observar que são estados que têm um viés muito forte no agronegócio. Então, isso até explica por que, de certa forma, desses estados seriam os com maior potência instalada, porque, basicamente, eles têm muito negócio no agronegócio sendo desenvolvido nesses estados. Next, please. Se a gente for olhar por regiões do país, do Brasil, nós temos aí o Centro-Oeste, com 7.000 unidades produzindo, 7.000 usinas, né? O estado com maior número é o Sudeste, com 20.000 usinas, 20.231 usinas gerando energia, seguido pelo Sul, com quase 17.000 usinas. Ao lado, a gente tem as unidades que recebem crédito, normalmente é um pouco maior do que as unidades geradoras, e a potência instalada em cada uma dessas regiões, com destaque para o Sudeste, com quase 440 megas. Isso tudo que eu estou falando é um olhar especificamente para o setor do agronegócio, do setor rural no Brasil. Potência total ela é maior, obviamente, quando a gente considera as outras áreas de negócio, indústria, comércio, residência, esses números são maiores nesse sentido. Próximo, por favor. Quando a gente olha para as características, né, as modalidades de instalação que a gente tem na geração distribuída no Brasil, nós temos 4 possibilidades legais, né, que são entendidas como possibilidades de geração no Brasil. É o autoconsumo remoto, quando você gera a energia, você faz o desenvolvimento de uma usina para o seu próprio uso, né? Eu pessoa física ou pessoa jurídica, coloco uma usina que é minha para o meu próprio uso, que é considerado um autoconsumo remoto. Os condomínios, né, que é uma característica de consumo também, onde você tem um grupo de pessoas que moram numa mesma área, e ali elas desenvolvem uma usina em conjunto. A geração na própria unidade consumidora, né? O autoconsumo remoto é quando eu gero para mim, mas distante da minha unidade consumidora, né? Eu estou, por exemplo, conversando com vocês agora de Campinas, São Paulo, e eu poderia ter uma usina gerando energia para o meu negócio alguns quilômetros distante daqui. Então, esse seria o autoconsumo. Ou eu poderia gerar na minha própria unidade consumidora, poderia estar gerando no local que eu estou. Seria a geração na própria UC, na própria unidade consumidora. Uma outra possibilidade, uma quarta possibilidade, seria a geração compartilhada, onde você tem um investidor ou um grupo de investidores, né? Pode ser mais de um investidor, que desenvolve, faz uma usina de maior potência, geralmente elas são de maior potência, e ele compartilha o resultado desta geração com um número maior de pessoas, né? E isso tem acontecido bastante, tem sido um modelo muito utilizado ultimamente. Você faz uma usina de 1 mega, 2 megas, 3 megas, dependendo da localidade, e você coloca cotas desta geração para um número maior de pessoas, e aí cada um pode participar de uma parte desta geração. Todas essas informações, inclusive, nós temos elas mais detalhadas tanto na nossa página da BGD quanto nos e-books que eu comentei com vocês. E aqui nós temos alguns números, né? Como é que isso está sendo distribuído hoje no Brasil. Brasil hoje, para que vocês tenham uma ideia, nós temos algo em torno de 7,7 giga no total, né, de toda a geração de energia em geração distribuída, né? O agronegócio, como eu comentei com vocês, representa 1,1 giga. Próximo, por favor. Então, para que a gente tenha aí, falando desta geração, obrigado. Para que a gente possa ter uma ideia desta geração no agronegócio, né, dividido por tipos de geração, né, as pequenas centrais elétricas, né, as CGHs, centrais de geração hidrelétrica, as eólicas, as usinas fotovoltaicas e as usinas térmicas, que podem ser tanto a geração pela queima do biogás ou da biomassa, né? Esse é um outro ponto interessante, né? O Brasil tem a possibilidade de geração tanto em biogás, né, em função dos aterros sanitários que a gente tem, e também resíduos de produção agrícola, que também geram gás, né? Gás metano e tudo, quanto do resíduo de processos produtivos do setor do agronegócio. Então, nós temos aí os números, né? A gente pode ver que a geração fotovoltaica ela predomina, são quase 50 mil plantas geradoras. Elas, claro, obviamente, elas têm uma potência menor, mas no número macro, a principal fonte de geração é a fotovoltaica, pela facilidade, né? O campo tem uma característica muito interessante, por isso, inclusive, tem crescido o número de plantas fotovoltaicas no agronegócio no Brasil, porque um dos pré-requisitos que a gente sabe necessário para a geração fotovoltaica é que eu possa ter um espaço bom, adequado, e quando eu estou falando do campo, do agronegócio, naturalmente eu tenho espaço para colocar uma usina fotovoltaica. Então, tem crescido muito no Brasil esse tipo de solução. Mas o biogás, a biomassa também são fontes geradoras muito interessantes que também têm uma participação ascendente, crescente no Brasil. Next, please. Aqui a gente, inclusive, apresenta de forma um pouco mais aberta esses números, né, por fontes geradoras no campo, né? O bagaço da cana, o biogás de floresta, né? Então, aqui há alguns outros dados, né? O licor negro, a radiação solar. Eu não vou me ater a cada um das fontes aqui, mas a gente consegue ver novamente que predomina a solar, mas existem possibilidades distintas de geração de energia distribuída com outras fontes, o que a gente tem aproveitado no país. Next, please. Isso é para que a gente tenha uma ideia do setor de energia renovável, né? O quanto ele tem capacidade de empregabilidade, né? No momento onde, de certa forma, o mundo precisa de geração de emprego. Nós temos hoje, conforme um dado da IRENA, que é um organismo internacional que olha para o setor, cerca de 11 milhões e 500 mil pessoas trabalhando nesse setor de energia renovável. O setor tem crescido muito, gerado muito emprego. No Brasil, nós temos mais de 200 mil pessoas trabalhando no setor de energia renovável e esse crescimento tem sido perceptível nos últimos anos. Next, please. Entrando um pouco, né, e já finalizando a minha fala, o que a gente tem percebido é que dos setores que a gente possui hoje, né, usando a geração renovável como fonte de energia, né, o agronegócio é um dos que tem mais crescido. Isso porque o agro no Brasil é um setor econômico muito forte, talvez um dos principais, se não o principal setor da economia, né? Como já apresentado aí pelos colegas anteriormente, são muitas as áreas de negócios possíveis, né? O Guilherme falou a respeito do setor fruticultor no Brasil, mas nós temos também a pecuária, que é forte, o setor extrativista é forte, cana é forte, enfim, né? O Brasil é um país que tem uma representatividade no agronegócio muito forte. E, muito provavelmente, todas essas usinas, ou esses negócios, perdão, melhor dizendo, eles vão ter um processo energético passando por eles, né? Pensar o setor, por exemplo, do agro com relação ao setor aviário, né? Que o Brasil é muito forte na produção aí, tanto da carne de frango quanto nos ovos, né? Que compõem aí a cadeia alimentar nossa. Você precisa de energia, né? O setor você precisa manter aceso, você precisa, quer dizer, tem um custo energético alto. O setor de irrigação, os pivôs de irrigação, eles consomem também muita energia, né? Então, a secagem da soja, do milho, do café, muitas vezes também são processos que demandam energia. E o agronegócio está percebendo que, se eu tiver um custo energético mais adequado, eu me torno, obviamente, mais competitivo. Então, tem sido muito interessante observar o crescimento percentualmente dos setores. O agro é o setor que mais tem crescido com a inserção de usinas próprias, né, para a geração de energia, para que possam ser mais competitivos nos seus negócios. Next, please. Então, fechando a minha fala, a gente entende que a geração renovável, né, de energia, de fontes limpas, né, um reaproveitamento de possibilidades de geração, ela está dentro dessa nova perspectiva global que a gente tem percebido muito forte, dessa discussão global que tem acontecido, que é uma ideia de descarbonização. A gente tem apoiado, as nossas iniciativas nos levam a soluções como essa. A GD, a geração distribuída, ela tem uma característica muito forte de descentralização, porque eu empodero o consumidor para que ele possa gerar a sua energia. A digitalização, a gente tem percebido chegar cada vez mais forte também, né? A tecnologia, os recursos têm permitido soluções energéticas muito inteligentes. A desburocratização, que é toda a discussão que a gente tem hoje junto aos projetos de lei, tornando mais fácil, mais efetivo a implantação de sistemas como esse. Democratização, como a gente já falou, acho que tem muito a ver com o segundo ponto, que é a descentralização do poder. E, claro, o compartilhamento, né? A gente tem percebido essa possibilidade na geração distribuída. Next, please. É isso. Estou à disposição na BGD para atendê-los. É um interesse muito grande nosso, a parceria junto com a Low Carbon. A gente percebe sinergias muito concretas. Nós temos, como associados, um número muito interessante de empresas europeias conosco, empresas francesas, espanholas, do Reino Unido, enfim, né, Portugal, de vários países que podem acessar a associação para entender um pouco melhor o mercado brasileiro. É isso. Obrigado. Bom dia a todos.
Obrigado, Guilherme. Before we go to the next speaker, we have a question for you, Guilherme, I believe, from Barbara Prodzwa from Poland, Asket, Poland. And she's asking if straw or other non-woody biomass recognized as fuel in Brazil. Should I repeat the question, or did you understand? Your microphone is locked. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Okay. Please repeat, please, or if
Yes.
it's possible, speak me in Spanish or Portuguese. I prefer.
Okay, I will try to ask the question in Spanish. Like la hierba o la biomasa que no proviene de la madera, que no es de madera, es reconocida como combustible, como fuel en Brasil.
Sim, Sim, e nós temos bastante, por exemplo, o resíduo da cana. O Brasil é muito forte o cultivo da cana-de-açúcar, principalmente para o etanol, que é um combustível que está na nossa matriz energética, né? Os nossos carros são flex, né? Podem andar com gasolina ou álcool. Então, nós temos uma produção aqui no estado de São Paulo, também no centro-oeste, muito forte de produção da cana. E a cana gera o bagaço, né? O resíduo da cana, e que eu faço dele uso de geração térmica. Então, não só da madeira, que nós temos também, né, em função de outras indústrias, né, mas também do resíduo, por exemplo, da cana-de-açúcar. Mas sim, tem outras fontes além da madeira, se eu entendi bem a pergunta.
Okay, so there are other sources. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Guillermo. Thank you your clarification. So now we can pass the floor to our last speaker, Mrs. Nicoleta Febreto from the Latin American IPR Help Desk, which is a program of the EU to protect and to help EU exporters protect the intellectual property rights. So please, Nicoleta, whenever you're ready. Thank you very much for being with us today. You can go ahead whenever you want.
Yes, thank you, and a nice day to all, and to the audience that is keeping with us after 1 hour. I will try to be brief. So as said, my name is Nicoleta Favaretto. I'm Senior Project Officer for the Latin America IP SME Help Desk. Thanks for the invitation. And it was really interesting to hear to all the presentation and to be here in such an important event, which is actually a matchmaking event of 2 days, and that really, aim to foster collaboration and to bring a new partnership between the EU and Brazil. So we see there's a lot of course, technology involved, invention, new technical solutions to problems are needed. And when we're talking about this, when we're talking about invention and technology, we have also to think about intellectual property and intellectual property rights. And that's why the EU Commission is financing a help desk, so the IP SME help desk, that support European companies in the protection, but more importantly in the management and in the proper management of intellectual property right when doing business with counterparts abroad. So why actually there's a net desk for intellectual property? Often companies forget that intellectual property is one of the main key business assets. It could be, in the treatment, in the technology for the treatment of energy from natural resources. It could be in the industrial design of the process of this treatment, so everywhere. And we often see that the let's say the creator and the developer of these intellectual property rights are small and medium-sized enterprises, and that's why we would like to support them. So when you have strong IP assets, you are also protecting a competitive advantage in the market, and this is true for Europe, but also for Brazil as well. So when you protect that, you have the exclusive right over the assets. Companies that have stronger IP portfolio are those that can attract new investors, that can engage in new collaboration, to develop new partnership, and also to secure a market position. Furthermore, when you have intellectual property properly managed, you can reduce risk. You reduce risk linked to technology commercialization in the country where you are operating, and you have an increased control when you are outsourcing or when you are licensing a product or a technology. And that's why we are here. So we're here to help small and medium-sized enterprises, and what you get is a free of charge, so no cost, for a first-line confidential assistance on intellectual property protection, management, and unfortunately also enforcement in Latin America, so including Brazil as well. The help desk exists since 2015, so it's quite sometimes we are working, and we are working for the benefit of European small and medium-sized enterprises and companies from associated countries. So companies, for example, that are also part of the competitiveness for SMEs program, the COSME program, such as, for example, Ukraine or Turkey as well. So those companies that are already working with entities in Latin America, in this case in Brazil, that would like to do that, so engage in new commercial partnership, that want to be established in the region or want to have research and development activities in the market. We cover, as said, Brazil. We covered 18 countries in Latin America and 2 countries in the Caribbean, so Dominican Republic and Cuba. We have a series of 4 services. The most important one for companies, it's our helpline. So it's a sort of ask the expert service where you have free of charge first line support, confidential, and to the point. So you can contact our pool of IP experts by registering to our website, by simply send us an email, or by calling. We work in different languages. We work mainly in English and Spanish, but can also reply to questions in Portuguese, French, or German. And so you send us your question, and you receive a reply within 3 3 working days. The question could be on how to protect trade secrets, how to file for a patent application in Brazil, the cost and procedure, and so on. Secondly, just a moment. We are organized training activities. So our expert organized session that enables companies to make informed intellectual property decision when doing business in Brazil. And so you can check our training calendar. Normally now we work as a webinar, and our webinar also are recorded, so we have on-demand session that you can often consult. Training could be with a country-specific focus or with a sectorial focus as well. So we often organize session on, for example, energy, biotechnology, but also IP in Brazil as well. In addition to this, on the website, you find a series of resources, online resources. So here are displayed some of our resources we developed for Brazil. So, for example, fact sheets on the comparing the legislation that we have in the EU with the legislation that is in Brazil. We advise on the customs protection, so how to protect your product when going through customs. We talked about technology transfer in the country, and on the website you'll find a series of case studies, so companies that we have supported and how we supported them, how they were able to enforce their right in Brazil. Lastly, our 2 tools are 2 tools that are available online. Simple questionnaire that allows you to diagnose which are the assets of IP that pertain to your company, and to understand also the knowledge that you have related to IP and your business. And secondly, a tool that allows you to understand the costs linked to the protection of those IP assets. So I try to to be as briefly as possible, but the main message is that it could be that during these days you will engage in a new partnership, and I'm sure that via the Low Carbon Business Action Project there will be plenty, of partnership that will develop. We are here to support you for the specific, let's say, part on intellectual property. It's a very, let's say, at first a complex, let's say, topic. Normally, you don't think about that at the beginning, but then there will be a stage where IP will be relevant and important to you. So we always say, know before you go, inform yourself before you engage. And so simply, you can send us an email, you can contact via the website, and we'll be also happy to organize, let's say, online meetings with you to be able to serve you at best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nicoleta, for your presentation. You're on the Latin American IPR help desk. I believe that for companies also taking part in the LCBA, in the future, in the business projects, they will be very interested in resorting to you as support in these IPR issues. So thank you very much. We've reached the whole webinar, all the presentations. Thank you. I want to thank you, first of all, everyone who has joined us and who has stood here with us until this very moment. Also, I would just to close this webinar, just to add that as the business liaisons and the business matches that arise from these matchmaking events are just a step of a further process. Here in the Low Carbon Business Action Program, its main goal is to make real business and to bring these projects to a further step, these investment projects, and to generate an environmental impact, a positive environmental impact, which is also the common interests we all share here, also to support EU companies and also Latin American companies. So please bear in mind that after this matchmaking, we can also collaborate to support your projects through technical assistance services to further implement these projects. And also, please, you have all the contacts and the information of all the speakers in this webinar, which also will be very glad to support your projects and joint business projects in Brazil and Latin America in general. So thank you very much to all. It was a pleasure to have you. And of course, if you have any question or any doubt, we are open to hear it, and you can also contact us in our email. Also, if you need to have the contact of any of the speakers, please write us at latam@lowcarbonbusinessaction.com, and we will share with you the requested information. So thank you very much. Muito obrigado. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Gracias.